Movies and TV shows with deaf people. Starting with the movies. There are lots of movies about deaf people. There are movies about deaf people that are quite popular and kind of controversial, such as Sound and Fury. Sound and Fury is a documentary following the Artunian family and extended family. There are two brothers, Chris, who is hearing, and Peter, who is deaf. They both have children. Chris is hearing and has a twin son, one of which is born deaf. Peter is deaf, and his children are deaf as well. When Chris's son is born deaf, him and his wife both search into the world of cochlear implants and its advantages and disadvantages. And because of all the controversy over the implants, Peter's oldest daughter decides she wants a cochlear implant as well. So they have to go through, and the Sound and Fury covers roughly a year and a half of their life and documenting how they pursued the cochlear implant and what happened. Bridge to Silence. Bridge to Silence is about a deaf couple who were on their way to see the woman's parents, and they were in a car accident. During the car accident, the husband was killed, and the wife winds up having a mental breakdown. So her parents take care of their daughter until the wife is ready to is recovered from her breakdown. Well, when she's recovered from her breakdown, the grandparents of the girl does not want to give back up custody, and it becomes a battle, so that they have to bridge a gap that had happened when they were growing up. They had to bridge the gap between the hearing world and the deaf world. Other movies include Mr. Holland's Opus. Mr. Holland's Opus is a story about a composer who couldn't compose anymore, so he decided to become a band teacher. While he was a band teacher, him and his wife had a baby, and when he was about 2 or 3 years old, they found out that he was deaf. So not only did they have to navigate the music world, which is a very hearing world, they had to figure out how to incorporate their deaf son into their hearing world that was all about music. There were so many challenges that they had to face and overcome. Deafula is also a very popular one, especially with the deaf, because it is a take on Dracula. It's a theology student who turned into a vampire and finds himself hunting other students for the blood. Deafula is done completely and totally in American Sign Language. Television shows. There are also television shows that have to do with or about deaf people. As far as about deaf people, there is Switched at Birth. Switched at Birth is a very popular TV show right now. It is a show about two girls who were switched at birth. One of which, Daphne, who got meningitis when she was 3 years old and became deaf, and the other, Bay, who didn't have any problems and is completely hearing. They find out that they are not biologically their own parents, and they meet, and they wind up living in the same house and try to see how their family will work together. The West Wing is not about a deaf person, but Joey Lucas, one of the characters, is deaf. She's a pollster, and she helps the people in charge of the government, the president and his staff, figure out what is pleasing to the public and help them do their job. She is played by Marlee Matlin. Marlee Matlin is the only deaf actress to receive the Academy Award. She received her Academy Award for her role in The Children of a Lesser God. This movie is one that just shows how much the oral versus the deaf world combine and conflict. But having deaf actors and actresses add a new depth, and it enriches the media that we watch.